What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So this is a stimulus package update, and this is a busy day. So this is the day, right? This is the day that they have come to a deal. Now, we're not going to see a vote today because they're going to do a continued resolution for another day, and then we will hopefully see a vote tomorrow, Monday. And it's amazing to me how you can just do these continued resolutions. It'd be nice if we could do that for our bills, right? Got a bill due. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a continued resolution for another couple of days, and then I'll pay that bill. But Congress, they just continue to do these resolutions, these stopgap measures, so they can extend it an extra day, so they'll have some time to go over this bill, because we still have not seen the bill. The bill is not before us yet. We don't know all the details. So I will talk about a few of the different things that we know that are in there that we've heard politicians already talk about. But when it comes to the fine details, we don't have that yet. Once I get that, I'll do my nice little graph for you guys and show you exactly what's in this next bill. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're also going to take a look at Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer. So they were on the Senate floor earlier. We're going to take a look and we'll listen to what they have to say about this package. So that's what we have for today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. All right. So the first thing everybody wants to know, stimulus checks. Who's going to get them? Who's not going to get them? So the easy answer, and this is what politicians have been saying at this point, if you got a stimulus check last time, you're going to get a stimulus check this time. That's the good news. The bad news is if you didn't get a stimulus check last time, you're not going to get a stimulus check this time. So that will mean adult dependents would not be getting a stimulus check. People that are in college, so younger adults, you're not going to qualify for a stimulus check either if you are claimed as a dependent. So that's unfortunate. The talk is that Democrats were pushing for that, but Republicans didn't want to come on board. So those are the details there. Now, when it comes to dependents under 17, you will get a $600 stimulus check for each dependent under 17. So that's good. I mean, they're not limiting that. So if you have 5 kids under the age of 17, then they will you'll get stimulus checks for all of them, $600 stimulus checks. So that's good. We also need to talk about enhanced unemployment. So it will be $300 per week. I believe it's 11 weeks. Now, that's not confirmed yet. So once we see the details, we'll know more about that. Nancy Pelosi is saying this is just a start. We will be doing another stimulus package when Joe Biden becomes president. Who knows? I mean, that's what she's saying. This is just a first step, which means that there's more to come. But we'll have to see. It took us a lot to get to this point, so we'll have to see if they can even move forward with anything else. So let me go ahead and play this clip for you guys. I want to show you guys on the Senate floor. Now, this is from the Washington Post, and they did make some cuts here, but the speeches were pretty long. So this will shorten it up for us, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side. Here we go.
Nearly $900 billion. It is packed with targeted policies that help struggling Americans who've already waited entirely too long. For workers at the hardest hit small businesses, there will be a targeted second draw of the Paycheck Protection Program. We've not worked so hard to save as many jobs as possible all these months, only to fumble the ball with vaccinations already underway. So this agreement will provide huge sums for the logistics that will get these life-saving shots to our citizens as fast as possible. This package will renew and extend a number of the additional important federal unemployment benefits that have helped families stay afloat. At the particular request and emphasis of President Trump and his administration, our agreement will provide another round of direct impact payments to help households make ends meet and continue our economic recovery. We'll be repurposing more than $560 billion in money that was already set aside by the CARES Act, but not spent toward.
Okay, so $560 billion will be repurposed. Now let's take a look at that. $560 billion. Now this is estimated to be under $900 billion. So just approximately $900 billion is what they're saying. So we're looking at about 300 billion, 320 billion probably of new money. 300 billion new money. The skinny bill, the first one that they tried to push out, it was around that 300 billion. And that's what we're looking at now when it comes to new money. So the vast majority of this money is all repurposed money. Amazing.
These urgent needs that I've outlined. And we'll be appropriately paring back some of the most expansive powers that Congress temporarily gave unelected officials to stabilize the financial system. My Democratic colleagues and I have had good discussions this past week. Both parties have a lot to be proud of, but I really regret that some on the Democratic side decided that partisan presidential politics were more important than getting urgent and non-controversial relief out the door much sooner.
The agreement on this package could be summed up by the expression, better late than never, although I know many of my Republican colleagues wished it was never. But after a long and arduous year, after a year full of bad news, finally we have some good news to deliver to the American people. Make no mistake about it, this agreement is far from perfect, but it will deliver emergency relief to a nation in the throes of a genuine emergency.
Now, you notice he's saying emergency relief. This is Chuck Schumer. He's saying emergency relief because they want more relief and they're going to be asking for more relief. So that's why they're saying this is emergency relief. And then now we're going to move into stimulus relief. So that's their plan. Now, will it work? We'll have to wait and see.
It should have the votes to pass the Senate, the House, and reach the president's desk to become law. We should make that happen as soon as possible. The Republican majority caused more than 8 months of delay and gridlock. 20 members of the Senate majority wanted no money. And when the Republican leader simply forgets, for months he said, let's examine the crisis. Let's put it on pause, while Democrats were demanding more action.
Now, this is a good part to stop on because that did happen. Okay, we did have Mitch McConnell in May, in June, in July saying we need to wait and see. We need to see what the CARES Act, how that money is going to affect the economy and everything else. So there was a huge pause. We had about a 2.5 month pause. And then they started saying, okay, well, let's see what we can work out. And then they started doing the negotiation. Now, Mitch McConnell was never in that room negotiating. And that was one of my big problems with this whole negotiation. You had Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Stephen Mnuchin, Mark Meadows. Those are the people negotiating. So the White House and the Democrats. Mitch McConnell was nowhere to be seen when it came to negotiating. So he was not serious at that time. Even though he's saying that something needed to get done, he was not serious because he was not in the room. And so when Mitch McConnell tries to come out and say, well, you know, they just weren't taking it serious and they didn't want to do this and they were playing politics, you can say what you want, but you weren't in the room. You weren't showing your eagerness to get something done until after the election. And then the reason why you're doing it after the election is because of the Senate race. If the Senate wasn't a runoff, then we would not see a stimulus package right now. The only reason that we're seeing a stimulus package, especially with direct payments, is because of the runoff. That's it. And he admitted that. Mitch McConnell admitted that. All right, let's continue.
So the idea that this delay was caused by Democrats is Alice in Wonderland history. It was caused by a Republican majority that didn't want to vote the monies desperately needed by the American people.
All right, so there you go. Those are the two leaders in the Senate. So you have the majority leader, Mitch McConnell, the minority leader, Chuck Schumer. Now, I don't, you know, when we look at this whole proposal, this bill, that when it comes out tomorrow, we'll have more details. But when you look at it, you have to admit, Mitch McConnell got what he wanted. And that's a little of nothing when it comes to this bill. Because if you looked at the proposals and the things that were out before, and now you're looking at this bill and you're saying $300 maybe $320 billion of new money. And we were looking at 2.2 trillion, or at least, we'll say at least 1.8 trillion, because that's what the White House brought forward. Now, just because the White House brought that $1.8 trillion forward doesn't mean that it was going to go anywhere, because it had to get through the Senate. So we don't know, just because they say, oh, the White House wanted 1.8 trillion, you could have taken that deal. That didn't mean that deal was going to get through the Senate. So that's something that needs to be addressed, because even if Nancy Pelosi took that deal, it still needed to work its way through the Senate. And that's why Mitch McConnell should have been in that room, because then he would have known, okay, this is what we need to get it through the Senate. But we didn't have that. We just had Mitch McConnell saying, well, I'll go with whatever the White House wants. And so we don't know about that 1.8 trillion. That could have been on the table, but not able to get done. But when we're looking at everything, Mitch McConnell won this fight. He did. Make no mistake. He won this fight because he got it down to $300 billion of new money when we were looking at a lot more, or at least hoping for a lot more. He didn't want direct payments. Both of his skinny bills didn't have direct payments in them. So now they've cut the direct payments down to $600 when they should be $1,200. So he won. He won this fight. $300 a week enhanced unemployment. That's something they were asking for already. Democrats wanted $600. So when you look at this whole situation, Mitch McConnell won. And we'll have to see what happens in Georgia, but this is good for the Republicans in Georgia that are running in this runoff, because now that at least they can say, well, we brought something, because they were getting hammered before. Mitch McConnell admitted it. They were getting hammered before. We need to get something through. We need to have direct payments because we need to help them, which in turn will help him remain the leader. So, and you saw both sides here on the floor. You saw Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer blaming the other side. And this is what is wrong with our government right now. We have politicians that are just, it's all about party politics. And they do not want to help each other out to help the American people. They don't want to come to an agreement to help the American people. It's amazing. And before, when you're talking about different bills, they mean something, but they don't mean as much as this bill meant to a lot of people. For the last 7 months, we've been going back and forth, and the people have been suffering this whole time in a pandemic, in a crisis that we've never even seen in our lifetime. And you have politicians that are just going back and forth, blaming the other side during a critical situation like this. It's amazing to me how broken our government is. And we see it. We see it now. And you have politicians admitting it. Admitting that that government is broken. We can't agree on anything. Even when it's to help the American people. We cannot agree on that. It's amazing to me. So we'll know more details later. When I say later, I mean tomorrow. Looks like they're going to be there are a few more votes that they're going to do today, but nothing. We don't have the bill. So once we get the bill, Congress will have to look at the bill, and then they'll have to determine, okay, is this something we're going to go with? Which they pretty much know already. The leaders have already, got them up to speed. They've had some conference calls. They've got the politicians up to speed, so they know pretty much what's in this bill. But we have not seen the language. So once we see the language, and we'll move from there. There still can be some objections. So in the Senate, we'll have to see if Bernie Sanders or Josh Hawley object to anything. Maybe want more $1,200 stimulus checks instead of $600. We'll have to see. But it's just amazing to me that $320 billion or $300 billion, whatever, we'll find out, that new money, that is ridiculous. It should be more. It absolutely should be more money for the American people than that. Remember, it's your money. It's not their money. but they're being very, very tight with your money. So that's all I have for you guys today, but I want to know what you guys think. So in the comment section, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, because this week there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And once they get this bill going, then now we're going to be talking about when are we going to get checks? When is the enhanced unemployment going to come through? There's going to be so much stuff that's going to be coming out. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell notification. You'll get notified anytime I put out a video. I will keep you up to date. I'll probably start doing 2 videos a day. And usually I do a video in the morning, and I've started to do videos later at night. So to catch both demographics. One of the demographics I've been missing are the people that work graveyard and stuff like that, where they're up at night, but they're sleeping in the daytime, so they're not catching my videos. So I'm going to do some videos at night as well to help those people out and give them the information they need. So that's all I have for you guys. Talk to you later.